Hi, I'm Art Pennington. Thank you very much for agreeing to help us test the mobile app that we're developing. Really appreciate it. This video is to show you or give you a demonstration of how to use the app. It's not really an app yet, it's still just a web page, but we've created the web page to simulate what the app would do. So without further ado, um, you should have, you will be receiving an email that looks very similar to the one that's on my phone now. If you click, there'll be a link in there for the testing the app. You click on the link or press the link, and it'll want to open in a browser of some kind. This is an iPhone. If you have a Google operating system, might look a little differently, but it'll still open in a browser, and it'll come up looking, sometimes it's slower, like this. And it's just a web page, but it looks like a cell app. You can use the two fingers to make it smaller and move it around, that kind of thing, just like resizing. And you'll notice it has three buttons: the start, stop, and end. The start, uh, when you begin a trip, of course, you press the start button, and it'll pull up a little panel to fill in information. And then every time you make a stop after that, you press the stop button, and the same panel will come up, and you can change information, as far as the number of riders, that kind of thing. Um, and then when you're complete, the trip is complete, you push the end button, and you're done. Now, each time you push any of those three buttons, it'll record where you are. Now, this panel that comes up will give you an opportunity to override that address if you're actually doing the trip manually instead of in the vehicle while you're taking the trip. So I'll explain all that as we go here. So let's start a trip and see how this works. We press the start button, and we get a confirmation. These things are easy to accidentally touch, so we decided to make a confirmation. Did you really intend to start a trip or not? So you press the green check mark to start it, and it's going to want to use your GPS tracking in your phone, so it's asking permission to do that. And probably will ask that on your phone also. So you allow it to use GPS, and that's the last time it'll ask you that. And this is the panel that comes up. The first field on the little panel is the trip purpose. You press that, and it'll open a little table at the bottom where you select the purpose of the trip. We'll just say employment. Just leave it there and press the done at the top right corner of the little panel here, and it'll fill it in. The next thing is vehicle number, and what it does is it will automatically, when the panel comes up, search for a vehicle within 60 feet of your current location that's assigned to that address. The theory is being that you might be in the driveway of the group home using their vehicle, and it'll automatically fill in the number for you. In any case, if it fills in the incorrect number, you can override it by just pressing on it, and it allows you to enter a number. Now, the next four items are a count of the number of clients that are in the vehicle by classification. We got under 55 in wheelchair. That's basically non-senior. So if it's non-senior and non-senior wheelchair. And the other two are over 54 in wheelchair, which is basically senior. So 55 and over is a senior, so that's how we decided to represent that. And you could, each one of these is modifiable by a slider. Each slider has a value from 0 to 15. So if we're going to have under 55, we'll just slide it over to 4. And then maybe one wheelchair, a senior wheelchair, like that. That's how, so you just slide the slider to the value represented by the number in the count. Now, that's all you have to do. If you're actually in the vehicle on the trip, it automatically record the address where you are. It knows because it uses Google Maps software to determine that. If you need to override that address for any reason, for example, if you take a trip and forget to use the app, when you're done, you can actually do the trip manually by filling in the address there. So maybe I'll go make a stop first and then change the address. So let's just click press on the Done button here to make this panel go away. And notice it goes away. The Start button disappears because we don't need it anymore. We're in the middle of the trip. But the Stop button is there. You can press the Stop button for each stop you make. It doesn't matter how many stops you make. There's no limit to how many stops. But each time you press the Stop button, it'll bring that same panel up again and give you an opportunity to modify the counts, basically. Everything else would remain the same unless you notice a mistake, then you can change it here. But the theory is with each stop, somebody will get off or on, and you can adjust these sliders. Let's just say we drop the wheelchair person, so bring it back down to 0, and then we're going to continue on. But instead of, let's just try an override of the addresses so you can see how that works. You can just start typing in an address. I'll just click my home address, 538 Fair. See, you can see that it's a Google Live entering of an address, and it brings up suggestions. As soon as you get far enough, minus 538 Fairway Circle, Jefferson, so it popped up the top here. So you can click on that entry, and it'll fill it in for you. So that will override the current address that you're locating at. So you click the Done, press the Done button, and it'll go back. So that is a stop. You can have as many stops as you like. Each time that you press the stop, the little panel will come up and give you an opportunity to change the counts. If nobody's going to get on or off, if, for example, you're just taking a ride and you went to the river and you're going to watch the boats go by or something like that, and everybody's going to stay in the vehicle, then you don't change the count. You just click the Done button, and that records the stop at that location, but nobody entered or exited the vehicle. Okay, so at any rate, when you're finished with the trip, you press the End button, and it wants the confirmation on that one too. The start and the end, we confirm. So we'll click the Confirm, and it'll bring up the little panel again for you to give you an opportunity to I think I accidentally yeah, I'm sorry, but I accidentally touched that slider and made it go to 14. But it comes up and zeroes out the counts for you automatically. If you notice, when it came up initially, all the counts were 0, assuming that you're going to end the trip. That means there's everybody's getting out, basically. So it makes them all 0 for you. Really, the only reason this panel comes up at the end is if you're doing the trip manually and you want to override the address. So normally, if you're using this app during the trip, you press the End button. This will come up and verify that everything's 0. You press the Done button, and you're completed. So if you press the Done button, it will end the trip and goes back to where you started. So that is how you use the mobile app. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you find any problems, let me know. I'll fix them right away. You can retest and that kind of thing. So thank you very much for giving it a try.